Hi everyone, I'm Claire and today I wrote a little bit of I don't know what it's called, not an essay, not a story either, just a little piece. It's called The Merchant and the Dragon King. If you clicked on this video, thank you so much. I hope you stay until the end and leave comments if you have grammatical corrections, comments, concerns, anything like that. Leave it in the comments. I'm gonna try to do this in one take. This is my first draft. Don't be mean. If I make mistakes, ignore. If I stutter, ignore. If I burp, ignore, okay? Okay, so let's get started. The Merchant and the Dragon King. In all the journeys I've traveled, I'd always preferred running errands for the merchant over a grand battle against the Dragon King. This bias of mine is probably not due to the difficulty or the time required, as I may take a day laboriously trekking the green meadows to find nothing, traversing perilous terrains for non-existent glowing flora, or scaling jagged cliff sides that could end my life for just a meager handful of harebells. Slaying the Dragon King may take only an hour, granted I have the correct weapons. This bias is most likely not due to fear, lack of strength, or willpower, as I have defeated the Dragon King in many of my journeys. I adorned the title of hero and knight. I happily received sackfuls of glimmering gold coins before I left a city. I sharpened my sword and strung my bow more times than one could count. I've heard congratulatory cheers when I walked through the city's high iron gates with a dragon's head. I indulged in the parties celebrating my victory. To be entirely truthful, defeating a Dragon King is always one of the best feelings one can experience. So why do I get my fingers scratched, my back strained, and my skin burnt picking up herbs? Any wage for killing a rabbit or gathering a basket of mints may as well be worth less than a fraction of what one receives from slaying the Dragon King. After all, it is what most people dream to do. To enter into the beast's dim lair, to see the dark, warm, magical blood spill, to see evil's heart punctured with one's own sword, to share the dragon's large, round, metallic blue scales, to return home with his head to say, I defeated the Dragon King. When you defeat the Dragon King, the townspeople bow down to you. They smile and whisper tales of your journey. Blushing girls run to you just to give you flowers. But you won't ever get to know their names, as before you can ask, the girls will scramble away giggling. You won't get to die with the townspeople as you go to feast in the palace instead. You won't get to know any of the children as you spend all day sharpening your sword and stringing your bow, preparing for the fight against the Dragon King. And when the beast's head is finally severed, it is time to move on to the next city. In one of the cities I visited, I gathered flowers for an old lady. She was a merchant who wanted more color in her store. She sat me down in her humble abode with wooden bowls and a humble stew beside her stone hearth. We talked for hours about her children, her life, my struggles, my life, and I still think about her words to this day. During one of my foraging trips, I stopped to rest on a cliff's ledge. Though the dirt was hard and cold, the colors of the sky were soft and warm. A blend of oranges, pinks, blues, and purples, settling into each other as the sun sinks into the horizon. I laid down my sword and bow upon the grass as I laid my eyes upon the magnificent landscape underneath my feet. My neck was once sore for days after hours of craning my neck, cleaning the shelves at the library. But I forget about it whenever I think of all the city's history that the librarian taught me that day. I befriended a city's farm girl once after gathering her hen's eggs. My fingers are still scarred from that time I played this string instrument with her. I remember that we used the little patches of hay layered on top of each other as our pillow seats. The truth is, I do try to defeat the Dragon King, and though the gold and praise is absolutely amazing, and also what I have always dreamed of, what ends up at the deepest parts of my heart, what tugs at its strings, what I hold on to the most, what replays in my mind the most, was not the gold or the dragon's head. It was all the stories I heard, all the meals I've tasted, all the smiles I've shared. With the merchants, the bards, the children, the farm girls. After I ran them an errand, as simple and as boring as plucking them flowers. Thank you for listening. If you can't tell, this is like not a real story. Yeah, but I was really inspired by all the fantasy that I've been thinking of lately, and all the fantasy like ideas and stories that I've thought of when I was younger. Actually, I have like a wall right here where I have post-it notes from I think like 7th grade, where I have stories and characters that I thought I would write into a novel one day, but obviously I didn't do that. But there's just post-it notes. Let me pull you one right now. Like just a bunch of these on the wall. So that's pretty cool. And I remember I also used to draw myself as like a fantasy character so much. It was so fun. That's like my dream, to be able to live in a fantasy world one day, in another life maybe. Maybe I'll die and I'll get respawned into a game. Yeah. I hope you liked it. I do have like a really long video coming, but I feel like I'm just spitting out like sappy stuff because I was talking about nuance and yeah, so I'm not sure if people would actually watch that, and it's very long, so I'm contemplating whether it would be worth it to like edit it or not. But and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Bye bye.